Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And we've been working our way through St. John's Gospel, the lesson that's assigned for evening prayer the last couple of days. And we had the wonderful story of the raising of Lazarus from the dead. And so I thought we would go ahead and end this week with the next section of John's Gospel, which is the reaction to what happened to the raising of Lazarus. And so let me just go ahead and start reading for us. We begin chapter 11, verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him. But some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. And if we let him alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together the one children of God that were scattered abroad. Then from that day forth they took counsel together for to put him to death. So interesting to hear the reaction of the Pharisees. They are now so convinced, their hearts are so hardened, that they are just unwilling to consider the fact that Jesus is the fulfillment of the promise of God to send a Messiah. Now, they could not fathom that the Messiah would in fact be God's own son. And that's a part of what's made them very upset. First, Jesus annoyed them by upsetting the religious apple cart by doing things like healing the sick on the Sabbath day and eating with unwashed hand, things like that. But he really took it up a notch when he began to talk about being the Son of God. And that, for them, the blasphemy was unforgivable. But it's interesting that Caiaphas's prophecy contains the phrase that one man should die for the people. Now, I'm sure he's thinking in much more politically expedient sense of the word, is that if Jesus gets put to death, they can placate the Romans by saying, look, we've got this troublemaker, and he's trying to establish a kingdom on earth, and so here we are, we're handing him over to you because we don't want troublemakers among us. And this way they save some face and they look good, and then they can prove to everybody else that this guy was really a criminal, and because the Romans put him to death. But what they don't realize is that is what Caiaphas is really saying is a true theological statement, right? It is expedient that one man should die for the people. And we get an allusion to that, of course, as John writes it out, because, in fact, Jesus Christ would die not only for the Jewish nation, but he would die for all the people of the earth. This isn't a political statement. This isn't a political action. This is a reality that sin has caused a chasm between God and man. And so it'll be by Jesus' death that man and God are reconciled through his own blood. So even though Caiaphas is having a less of a theological statement about this, because he just could not even begin to anticipate what it is that God is going to do through Jesus, his death is going to have to happen. And it is the will of God, that God would use that as the offering, as the propitiation for our sins, and not for our sins only, but the sins of the whole world, right? We say that every time that we have a Holy Communion service, that one man, that he is a propitiation for our sins. And the next line is, and for the sins of the whole world. So we really have a wonderful prophecy that goes beyond what even Caiaphas could begin to comprehend or understand, and is absolute truth. So it's Saturday, and I hope we're getting ready for our weekend of worship. We have services today at 3, 4, and 5, and then tomorrow, 7:30 morning prayer, Holy Communion 8, 9, 10, 11:30, 12:30, and then 5 p.m. So we have communion, all those other services, and then evening prayer at 5 p.m. With the opportunity to receive communion as well. And I hope that you will sign up through our clickable link on the Sign Up Genius. On stjohnsdetroit.org. There's a clickable link to the Sign Up Genius to come to one of the services. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. May God bless you.